What penalty should China pay for handling this pandemic? How would you rate the White House response to COVID-19? And Rand Paul becomes the first senator to test positive for the coronavirus. Today on The Diamond K Show. Welcome back to the program, Radio on Fire. Of course, your man Diamond K in here. Thank you for joining me. Episode 410 of the program. Radio on Fire provides the best in breaking news, entertainment, and political stories that matter to you from an independent point of view. As the world continues to battle COVID-19, eventually we're going to have to analyze how we got here and how we can prevent pandemics like this from happening again. COVID-19 originated in Wuhan, China. This we know. So it's not wrong to criticize the Chinese government and their handling of this virus. China's dishonesty and negligence unleashed COVID-19 on the rest of the world. The communist regime not only lied, but destroyed evidence and allowed the virus to spread. They arrested and otherwise silenced whistleblower, doctors, and others. Shockingly, almost a month after discrediting experts who tried to warn the world about this virus, China finally took decisive action. America is China's top trading partner. In 2019, the U.S. spent $418.6 billion with China, which is almost 17% of the country's total exports. We're a big deal. What I really want to look at is the fact that as Americans, this needs to change. We must get back to making things in America. I don't have a problem with trade tariffs as long as the goal is for more domestic production. The Chinese government tried to conceal the true nature of COVID-19 and the impact it would have on companies' exports. That's the reason that they were trying to be hush-hush about it. China and the World Health Organization initially were resistant to the closure of borders because of the money that it would cost them. The World Health Organization's primary role is to direct international health within the United Nations system and to lead partners in global health responses. Now, the WHO, aka the World Health Organization, also played a part in the spread of this global pandemic. Now, they played a big part in this slow response of everything. China did not want a travel ban because of the potential loss of money on trade. But that is exactly what the price for this folly should be for China. It should cost them in trade. Wherever you are in the world, the last place you should be buying goods from is China for many reasons. Let's put aside how they handled this. The fact that we are targeting and benefiting on the backs of the poor people of China, that should not be tolerated. They are the world's largest exporter by value. 2019, China exported $2.499 trillion worth of goods around the globe. It's time for a change. I can't speak for other countries, but as far as America goes, it is time for us to step up domestic production and stop being consumers for China. You listen to The Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this quick break. Welcome back to the show. Your man Diamond K, of course. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire, all social media at The Diamond K Show. So we're fighting an invisible enemy. social distancing must be taken seriously during this pandemic. Maryland's Governor Larry Hogan said today that he was aggravated by people failing to heed the warnings about the necessity of social distancing. We're trying to slow down the spread of the coronavirus.
We're all taking actions and trying to work together, but yeah, this social distancing is not being enforced, and it's a little crazy to see the kind of crowds at the cherry blossoms. I mean, people have to listen. There's people that are out there. I mean, you are endangering not only yourselves, but your fellow citizens.
Some people are not taking things serious enough. Last week, he ordered statewide reduction of the number of people allowed to congregate down to 10. However, he still feels that folks are not only endangering themselves, but fellow citizens.
By not listening to these warnings, we've been getting pretty tough out here in Maryland on folks, limiting people to groups of 10. We were chastising all these spring breakers that came back from partying in Florida, and we told them they need to self-quarantine for 14 days. Otherwise, they're risking their lives of their parents and their grandparents and their friends, because this no longer is just about older people of all ages.
I understand that it's scary. This I do. I know that people's lives have been disrupted. The economy has come to a virtual standstill. Here in Maryland, Ocean City's beach and boardwalk are closed now until April 15th, and many places around the country, same thing goes. The sooner that we can get this thing in check, the sooner we can get back to life as we know it and love it.
40-some% of our cases are under 54 years old, and from 18 to 54. We had a 10-month-old, a 5-year-old who have gotten this disease. So the people are kidding themselves if they think that they should just go on spring break or enjoy being out there just as business as normal. We've got to get people off the streets and out of these crowds. It's absolutely essential.
Things have escalated significantly. Protect yourself and those around you. The show will continue after these messages. Welcome back to the Don McKay Show here on Radio on Fire. Let's dive back in. How has the White House been reacting to these turbulent times? America needs to be able to trust the words of its president. Only a fool would think that we were not in a time of crisis. As far as state governments, they're operating at maximum power. As for the federal response, first it was the CDC, then the HHS, then the task force. Now it is FEMA that is heading our response.
The president appointed FEMA 5 days ago to manage federal operations. And since I've been here, we've been shipping continuously.
The head of FEMA, Pete Gaynor, wouldn't say how many masks were being shipped to hospitals or how many masks were available in the federal government's stockpile.
I can't give you a rough number. I can tell you that it's happening every day.
He did acknowledge that there is a stockpile, which is strange to me and very surprising considering the urgent pleas from hospital workers. Why is there should be no masks in the stockpile? They should be shipping them out to all of these places that really need them. Members of the president's coronavirus task force briefed reporters at the White House today on the latest developments and the administrations. President Trump said that major disaster declarations in New York and Washington state had been approved and that the request from California would be approved soon. The president also said that FEMA is working to assist states hardest hit by the coronavirus pandemic. Noticeably absent from the briefing was Dr. Fauci, who actually contradicted Trump during a previous briefing. Americans need to hear from health experts and the people that are in charge of supplying PPEs, hospital beds, and ventilators more. The president, less. Hopefully, voters will remember how this crisis was handled during the general election. Also absent from today's briefing was Sleepy Ben. Trump likes to call Joe Biden sleepy, but Ben Carson literally fell asleep on stage during the last press conference. We didn't see him today. Maybe he was asleep. Listen to the Diamond K Show. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this. Make sure you subscribe on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K so you never miss one of our daily programs. Harvey Weinstein has tested positive for the coronavirus. The 68-year-old disgraced movie producer and convicted sex offender is one of 2 inmates who tested positive in the prison. Weinstein is serving 23 years for sexual assault and rape. He has been moved to isolation. That's not all. Senator Rand Paul, Republican of Kentucky, also tested positive for coronavirus. He's the first member of the Senate to report a case of COVID-19. He said in a tweet today that he is feeling fine and was in quarantine. Rand Paul is a doctor, and he claims that he didn't have any symptoms, and he was tested out of caution because of his extensive travel and events. He was not aware of any contact that he had with an infected person. Ironically, earlier this month, the senator voted against coronavirus stimulus packages, and only weeks later, he developed the very virus that he was downplaying. Finally, Germany is really clamping down and has banned meetings of more than 2 people. Groups of 3 or more people are only permitted if they live in the same household. Germany is Europe's largest economy. So far, they have almost 19,000 COVID-19 cases with 55 deaths. Today it was announced that German Chancellor Angela Merkel is self-quarantining after her doctor, the doctor who vaccinated her for pneumonia on Friday, tested positive for coronavirus. So she will be tested, and hopefully she does not have the virus, but you never know. So this is where we are with things, and it is really this is really turbulent times that we're living in. Of course, you've been listening to the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire, providing the best in breaking news, entertainment, and political stories that matter to you. To get all shows and exclusive content, visit radioonfire.com/join. Become a member. Radio on Fire, we are reporting for the nation. See you guys tomorrow.